They are both from another world. The guy knows everything about the game's plot, while the girl is a reader of his story. Now she's pretending to be an innocent freshman too. Win him over. In this dying world, joining his team is her only real shot at survival. She just wanted to play it safe until the end, but she overacted and accidentally turned a harem story into a reverse harem. Not only does the righteous protagonist like her, but even the cunning villain is falling for her. She just awakened her powers and entered the academy. The novel F-Class Commander of the Academy is a typical power fantasy. A gamer reincarnated as a villainous extra who builds a squad, beats the bad guys, and builds a harem. In her past life, she'd never touched this stuff, but a friend kept recommending it. Sadly, even though she knows the plot, she doesn't have any special cheat abilities. Jiang Nahayan grew up in the world's poorest orphanage. For 16 years, just staying alive took everything she had. The place was lawless, chaotic, and violent. The director sold kids for cash, and the staff used them as punching bags. If it wasn't for that teacher, she'd be trapped in that living hell forever. When the teacher took over as director, the kids finally had a safe haven. But now, the orphanage is broke. Having just awakened her powers, she's determined to save the place. Unfortunately, her awakened skill is a sniper role. It's expensive and totally team-dependent. While she was stuck, she remembered that extremely cunning protagonist. Usually, fantasy leads fall into two categories: the cold, decisive type who stays quiet, and the opportunist who's always hunting for benefits. F-Class Commander is about the game world's original stoic lead, and an opportunist who reincarnated into an extra, meant to die early. That opportunist was a gamer before he crossed over. He has the full walkthrough and an inside eye that sees everyone's stats. Using those, he hoards loot, trains his team, and builds an empire. These leads are always willing to spend resources on their own people, since the squad mates always reach the top in these stories. If she can't be the lead, she'll just hitch a ride to the moon. At the entrance ceremony, as the original lead began his oath, Jiang Nahayan remembered that the opportunist said something super cringy right then. Just as the thought crossed her mind, a low voice beside her said, "I will save this world." She turned her head. It was him. So all those weird looks she felt earlier were aimed at him. Makes sense. In the book, his reputation was trash. Even if the soul changed, labels aren't that easy to peel off. Whatever, this is a golden opportunity. But how does she get close and become friends with this hot-blooded lead? She'd been planning this for days. Sundara or cold types are overdone. Yandere isn't bad either. While she was undecided, her younger brother, Jang Hun, came over. "Sis, what are you doing?" Jiang Nahayan put down her notebook and smiled. "Just planning for the orphanage." Hearing that, his expression changed, sounding worried. "Sis, stop sacrificing yourself for us. You're an awakener now. You could live a comfortable life if you just worry about yourself." Seeing the boy's hands shaking from nerves, she took his hand. "Jang Hun, you're my family. The director. And the other kids are too. How could I ever turn my back on family?" She patted his back, thinking he was like a sweet little puppy. Wait, a puppy-type heroine. That's not a thing, is it? Well, a girl's sweet, soft voice made those blood-red eyes snap toward her. "Hello." Before he could react, she leaned in. The role she chose was the sunny, gentle, and bubbly puppy-type character. Inside, she was swearing. Heck, this was the only persona left. But her voice remained harmless, eyes full of curiosity. "What's your name?" "I'm Jiang Nahayan." He looked surprised. "You don't know me?" She acted shocked. "Oh, are you really famous?" He was indeed famous. Na Yuhan was known as a total jerk, who caused every kind of trouble possible. But that was before the gamer took over. Besides, that reputation was limited to awakeners. She asked, "Are you someone important?" He awkwardly turned away, sounding less confident. "No, I'm Na Yuhan." Since she came from a poor background as a government-funded awakener, not knowing him was totally normal. Awakeners here are either from elite families who pass down their traits, for generations, or commoners discovered by chance. She lowered her voice shyly. I'm a government-funded awakener. I don't know anyone here, so? It's a bit awkward. To be honest, I'm worried about keeping up. With the academy. Yuhan, do you know? A lot of people. He replied politely. I'm from an awakener family, so I know. A few. Really? That's amazing. Her eyes sparkled with admiration. Can you use your powers yet? His brow furrowed slightly, and he leaned back, a sign he was dropping his guard. He gave a playful Jiang Nahayan watched him, thinking to herself, stop acting clueless. There is no way you don't know, since you were a hardcore fan of this game. She had to make Na Yuhan interested in her. As soon as possible, clapping her hands together, she made a desperate code. But come on, she had to read the current chapter. Teach me. It was definitely what she had wasn't good with girls. But from now on, she was personally turned bright red when the game she was about to swore to protect. The ceremony abruptly ended. Her first attempt was a failure, but pretending to be a ray of sunshine. Nahayan quickly fit in with the class. Meanwhile, Yuhan, who was a villainous extra, was left all alone as expected. He sat in a corner, reviewing the game plot. Since he was currently weak, he couldn't act solo. Even if he tried to contact other families, the original owner's dark past would get him rejected. So the opportunist would definitely start with Class F, where people were less biased. Her skills happened to be exactly the DPS role Yuhan needed. Once she showed her worth, he'd eventually recruit her. She thought, I'll just help him build some rep first. Nahayan waved and shouted, Yuhan, come join us. The opportunist was startled for a moment, then caught on and introduced himself. With his game knowledge, he quickly gained the new classmate's favor. She grumbled internally. He played dumb when I asked, but now that he can gain rep, he acts like a helpful guy. What a shameless jerk. Don't forget who paved the way for you. In the first class, before learning to hunt, the teacher asked a sharp question. Why do you fight monsters? To be blunt, what we do is take lives. Monsters are intelligent. We might even have been friends. Have you ever thought about that? Most students never had. They thought killing was just a given. A moment later, the teacher gave his own answer, because most of them act with the goal of killing humans. So we must oppose them. I hope you all find your own answers. Nahayan hadn't actually finished the whole novel. She only knew bits of the plot. That was why she was so set on joining the protagonist team. She wanted to protect her family. In this world, pay off the orphanage's debt and give them a good life. If that meant hunting monsters, she'd do it gladly. That was her answer. Now that she was on the lead's radar, it was time for the next step. She opened her status menu. Except for stamina, her stats were just as trash as Yuhan's. She'd have to level up to get stronger. Suddenly, a system update notification popped up. In an instant, she was wrapped in white light. Metasystem activated. Searching for protagonist. Confirming relationship between user and protagonist. Congrats. You've been written into Na Yuhan's story. Jiang Nahayan will appear in F-Class Commander of the Academy. The metasystem was designed for her as a former reader. Characters can't see it. It provides meta points based on her screen time, importance, and the reader's reactions or engagement. Points can be used to grow. So, interacting with Na Yuhan triggered this new system. She opened the shop. From plot-changing items to weapons and potions. She could even buy stats. She tried buying the cheapest weapon. A second later, a magic spear appeared in her hand. She was overjoyed. She finally had all humanity. The opportunist's thoughts were like hers. I have to survive in this world. While talking with Class F, he used insight. In the hall, he had checked the seniors' stats. Except for the protagonist's class, there were no notable characters, until he found Jiang Nahayan. A sniper is very useful for dungeon raids. Her stats were low, but her skills were good. Yuhan secretly planned to watch her a bit longer before recruiting her. Initial progress was smoother than expected. The annoying reputation issue was mostly solved. Next, he planned to find the main hero, Park Se-woo, at the gym. While he was thinking, Nahayan suddenly asked, do you have any siblings? Yuhan had a smile on his face, but his eyes were cold. Of course. One person I have a terrible relationship with. This body was the brother of the game's heroine. Reading this, Nahan got pissed. The chapter didn't mention her helping him gain rep at all. Plus, Yuhan even thought she liked him. She was only friendly because of her sunny persona, but this guy? What an ungrateful jerk. She cursed him in her head. Luckily, everything was still on track. Now it just depended on the reader's reactions. Aside from some discussions, there were actually hate comments calling for her death. She punched the system menu in rage, confirming that this world was truly being watched by others like a novel. But even more stressful than this ridiculous world was the fact that stat points from leveling up were totally random. She decided to give up on being a bystander and work toward becoming a heroine. To reach that goal, she didn't just need to maintain her bond with the opportunist. She had to get close to every main character. After all, upcoming events were all leading toward the destruction of the world. Getting on the good side of the heroes who stopped that couldn't possibly go wrong. But she never imagined that by the second day, they'd offend the story's heroine, who also happened to be Na Yuhan's biological sister. Looking at the original heroine who seemed ready to beat Yuhan to death, Jiang Nahayan wailed. Why is this happening? The sister was the game's original heroine, and he was the reincarnated player. Even though the soul had changed, the sister, Na Yura, had no clue. She still saw him as that notorious jerk from the past. Just because Yuhan showed up at the training ground, her rage was instantly ignited. You're definitely here to mess with me again, aren't you? The opportunist wore a fake smile. I'm here to train. Training? Even a stray dog wouldn't believe that. Hiding in the shadows, Nahayan heard this and remembered the plot. The opportunist would provoke his sister, pretend to be bullied, and then get rescued by the righteous original lead, Park Se-woo. Thinking about it made her truly dislike Na Yuhan, but this was a sibling dispute. She didn't really need to get involved. She was about to turn away when she saw URA about to strike. Someone like you has no right to train here. The girl changed her mind. Even though she was totally against it, she had to risk it to earn meta points and level up. She stepped in front of Na Yuhan. I've been listening for a bit. Talking about rights and all that, isn't that a bit much? The heroine was completely caught off guard. Who are you? Do you have any idea how trashy this guy is? Before you speak up for him, Na Yura was the typical assertive lady-type heroine, and Yuhan's twin sister. Nahayan didn't know her well, so she played dumb. I'm Yuhan's classmate. I don't know your relationship, but Yuhan isn't trash. Besides, every student in the academy has the right to use the training grounds. Na Yura immediately shot back. That's only if it's for a legitimate purpose. Yura suddenly grabbed Nahayan for training. Internally, Nahayan agreed with Yura, but she couldn't take her side. When Yuhan claimed he was there to train too, she added hesitantly. He said he's training. Yura scoffed. You actually believe his crap? But no matter what Yuhan says, you just assume it's a lie. Isn't that crossing the line? At those words, Yura's expression darkened. Do you really know nothing about this person? I do, Nahayan said firmly. My first impression was that he was a bit cold, but he's actually very friendly when you talk to him. He doesn't discriminate based on background, and he even shares his knowledge. He's a good person to work hard with. Yura's brain stalled. Wait, who are you even talking about? Nahayan raised a hand. Yuhan. Seeing her brother's smug look, Yura lowered her head, her voice hiding suppressed rage. How pathetic, being played like a fiddle by him. The opportunist kept arguing. Is it so impossible that I've actually changed? You piece of trash. Muttering that turning the training ground into a playground wasn't enough. Now he was toying with innocent people too. The next second, flames erupted from her heart. Wait, was she this angry in the original story? You really haven't changed a bit. Nahayan was spooked. Just as Yura's fist was about to slam into the opportunist, Yuhan didn't flinch. He actually smirked. Sure enough, the next second, someone stopped her. The flames were extinguished. A tall guy stood between them. School rule number 1, section 9, except for discovering unregistered dungeons or during stat boosting classes. Unauthorized use of offensive skills is prohibited. This man was the original protagonist. Park Se-woo, you haven't forgotten the rules, have you? Awakened powers aren't meant for hurting people. Yura's face flushed as she yanked her hand away. I remember. She left without looking back. Just like the original, URA was hot-headed. If Sei-woo hadn't stepped in, they'd really be in for it. The opportunist immediately thanked him, but Sei-woo didn't take the bait. Fine, don't worry about it. I only stopped it because I didn't want to be warned as an accomplice. But you might have gotten hurt, and you still helped us anyway. Na-hyun immediately went into Sunny puppy mode. You're so amazing. Such strong character. Sei-woo snapped his head away, blushing slightly. It's no big deal. The two of them glanced at each other, sharing the same thought. This guy is shy. The girl's gentle, pleasant. Voice rang out again. You're a true model of integrity for this age. The real pride of the academy. The opportunist piled on. The future's greatest hunter. Our idol. Sei-woo panicked in. Na Yuhan was stunned by her sudden closeness, his face flushing deep red as he struggled to find words. And no, that's not what I meant. It's just that most people usually rest on the first day, don't they? But Yuhan, didn't you come out too? Na-hyun had already guessed he'd ask. In the original, only Sei-woo and URA were supposed to appear today. He was surely curious why she was here. Since she needed to rely on him for networking, she couldn't let him get suspicious. To be honest, I didn't plan on training today either, but thanks to you, I changed my mind. The opportunist was taken aback, because after seeing you help everyone with their questions in the classroom, I felt like I needed to start improving as soon as possible. After thinking it over, the only thing I could do was come here to practice. Seeing Yuhan's expression soften slightly, she struck while the iron was hot. She gave a sweet, obedient smile. It's all thanks to you. Though it's a bit embarrassing to say. By the way, you're also here at the gym too. Improve early, right? Yuhan, you're really incredible. I don't know what was going on with that girl earlier, but I trust my own eyes. The Yuhan I see is a good person. This talk worked. The suspicion on Yuhan's face vanished completely, and he even suggested practicing together tomorrow. Na-hyun's face was almost cramping from smiling, but for the kids at the orphanage, this effort was worth it. Hard work pays off, since exchanging contact info with Sei-woo. On the first day, at Yuhan's suggestion, the original lead had started training with them 3 days ago. Her own training was also going smoothly. The opportunist gave her plenty of advice. If things kept going like this, she'd surely be able to join the upcoming dungeon missions. However, for some reason, since that day, she could always feel URA's gaze, and that assertive lady seemed to be getting closer and closer to her. The puppy girl finally reached her combat debut. Surprisingly, the villain, who was supposed to partner with the original hero, actually ditched the top-tier combatant to team up with her. Just as she was about to pick a weapon, Yuhan suddenly stopped her. The one on the left is better. Given your class, you get bonuses with all firearms anyway, so take the one with the shorter barrel today. She knew he wouldn't just give random advice, so she went along with it to see what he was plotting. Weapon in hand, she turned to him. Yuhan, have you picked your gear? Her look of unconditional, adorable trust put Yuhan in a great mood. Of course, after all, his class only had one type of starting gear. The weapon suitability test was the first assessment for trainee hunters. Sei-woo cleared all the targets almost instantly, his movements so fluid, he didn't even break his breathing. Yuhan immediately praised him loudly. Impressive, Sei-woo. Even though the original lead was this powerful, there wasn't a hint of jealousy in Yuhan's eyes, only pure admiration. Truly, the protagonist. The light attribute was monster tier, especially his 1,000 soldiers skill, which allowed him to manipulate any weapon with fingertip precision. He really wanted to see him draw that sword on his back soon. But URA, crossing paths with Sei-woo, suddenly glared at him. Her eyes were so vicious she looked like she could eat someone. She had just separated from Na-hyun. Sniper is one of the hardest classes to develop, expensive and time-consuming, with a low success rate. But with Na-hyun, Yuhan was completely confident he could turn her into a top-tier ranged DPS. His only problem was URA. She mistakenly thought he was toying with Na-hyun. Before the reincarnation, the original owner seemed to have seriously hurt others, but he had no clue about the details. What exactly did the old Na Yuhan do? If he didn't solve this fast, he'd be lucky to survive URA, let alone build rapport. The DPS test ended, followed by tanks, and finally supports. Although Yuhan was in the support slot, he found firing at stationary targets boring. He raised his hand. Instructor, I'd like to request a different evaluation method. His class was commander, as the name suggests, a support, who formulates tactics to turn the tide of battle. In this, DPS is everything. Otherworld, the class had a bad reputation since it didn't fight on the front lines, but it was a unique role that could shake up the entire board. A gamer would know this from guides, but people here didn't have that awareness. Fine then. He would show everyone just how important a commander was. The instructor found the idea novel and agreed to change it to a duel as soon as they heard Yuhan was looking for an opponent. Class D students scrambled for the spot just to give him a beating. Some even threatened to end him. Who knew you were so popular? The instructor joked. Yuhan ignored him and asked, can I choose my oppo? Too slow. The other guy's veins popped with rage. You brat, that was just pure luck. Both Na Yuhan and Blue Hair had the same agility at level 10. But since the opponent was wearing heavy armor, his movements were naturally a bit sluggish. That tiny gap was all Yuhan needed. Where he would strike and how he would move. Yuhan had seen it all through insight. Dodging these attacks was child's play. Before long, Blue Hair's stamina hit rock bottom. Yuhan taunted him on purpose. Finished already, big guy? That flippant attitude provoked him again. He roared, I'm gonna kill you, and charged like a madman. Yuhan nimbly slipped past, his voice dripping with mockery. Ooh, scary, but you forgot something, didn't you? It finally clicked for the other guy, reminding him that Yuhan had a teammate. But it was too late. A precise shot hit his right hand. Yuhan looked at Jiang Nahian, his eyes full of admiration. Her shooting proficiency was even higher than he'd imagined. As a government-aided awakened, she shouldn't have handled guns before. Was it talent? But there was no time for that now. He pushed his doubts aside and turned back to taunt. What's wrong? Didn't you just say you'd kill me? Blue Hair's gaze shifted completely. This was the moment he'd been waiting for. The tank's ultimate skill, Berserk. If he and Nahian faced this skill alone, they probably couldn't break his defense even if they fought to the death. But with Nahian's mechanical buffs paired with his own empowerment, the result would be entirely different. The Berserk Blue Hair lunged with world-shattering energy. At the same time, Nahian entered her skill-boosted state. Under his buffs, even an F rank could take down a D rank. It was about to be his victory, but the fight came to an abrupt halt. The instructor blocked their attacks. Enough. That's it. The commander's evaluation is complete. Nahian lowered her gun, her racing heart finally settling. That jerk. He really had planned this from the start. That's why he helped her pick a weapon. Would it have killed him to tell her beforehand? She remembered that in the novel, Na Yuhan teamed up with Seiwu. Where did he get the confidence to let her lay the foundation? What a gambler and a masochist. Noticing Yuhan's gaze, Nahian snapped back to reality. Now wasn't the time to be daydreaming. She immediately lunged forward and gave Yuhan a huge hug, her voice cheerful. You, Han, we won. Against Class D. It's all thanks to your tactics. Now it was her turn to harvest meta points. But Yuhan suddenly froze. Nahian quickly sensed something was wrong. Wait, what's with this guy's heartbeat? Don't tell me he's so innocent that just being with a girl. He can't even handle a single touch. He is the absolute protagonist of a harem web novel. Yet right now, he's frozen in place by a simple hug. Seeing how innocent he is, the girl's urge for revenge instantly surges. Is this the guy who dared to keep patting her head? This is the guy who kept patting her head. Suddenly, the teaching assistant clears his throat, breaking the tension. Amidst the teasing whistles from everyone around, she pulls away from him. Her face flushed. She thinks to herself, oh no, teasing this guy is way too much fun. I accidentally took it too far. Looking at the new origin points in the system, she should be happy, but instead, she feels a strange sense of self-loathing for being so manipulative. Luckily, the reviews for this test were pretty good. Now, the only thing left is to check Luo Yuhan's perspective from orientation day. Suppressing her embarrassment, she clicks on that plot point. On orientation day, the protagonist Park Siwoo meets Luo Yula at the training grounds. This was the first story event of the original game, and she had seen it hundreds of times. Initially, she planned to jump into their plot and get on Park Siwoo's good side. But what is this? Brownish light? Jiang Naixin? This character never even appeared in the original game. Why is he standing by his side? He even seems to want to protect him from Luo Yula. A strange sensation wells up inside him. After all, he's only ever been met with hostile stares. Fortunately, his involvement successfully drew Park Siwoo out. If there's any issue, it's that the original plot has been altered. He must figure out why this variable appeared. But looking at this girl with the puppy-like face pretending to be angry, he actually finds it kind of cute. He even accidentally went along with what she was saying. Is she really here just to train? If she isn't the variable, then could the variable be someone else? While his thoughts are in a mess, Jiang Naixin suddenly says something unexpected. Wait, if that's the case, could the variable be himself? Because he took different actions, it affected the character Jiang Naixin. The trust written all over the girl's eyes. She completely trusts him just because of a small act of kindness. She even stood up to Luo Yula. What a fool. But this feeling of being trusted is actually quite nice. It even makes him feel like he could try trusting someone for once. Still, what needs to be said must be said clearly. By the way, that girl earlier is my sister. As expected, the reviews are almost all about her, except the scenes with Park Si-woo were all cut. They don't even realize who's responsible for them getting so close. Luckily, I got enough origin points to upgrade my attributes or skills. But if I add points now, the protagonist with the insight, I will definitely notice. It's better to wait until I level up and boost them all at once. Calculating the time, Luo Yuhan is about to head to the first dungeon. After the weapon test. The next day, some students bought exclusive weapons. Before, they were using the academy's standard issue weapons. Those don't have high attack power and are only good for school training. They're pretty mediocre with no highlights, but they're headed to a battlefield where life and death are on the line. So exclusive weapons with elemental effects are a necessity. Any normal person would do whatever it takes to get an exclusive weapon. But Luo Yuhan looks at Jiang Naixian, and when he hears her say that the standard weapons are also good, he can't help but let out a helpless sigh. Saying things like that, I guess she really can't afford an exclusive weapon. Time to go get the first hidden fragment. He walks up to her. Jiang Naixian, I'm going to the weapon shop. Wanna come? The girl agrees without any suspicion. Luo Yuhan thinks to himself, I'll just have you owe me a favor, and then we'll sign a contract. She has no idea what I'm thinking. And seeing her so happy makes me feel a bit guilty. But Luo Yuhan doesn't know she's scheming against him too. Jiang Naixian thinks this is the moment. Going to the weapon shop with the investor means she's been selected as a teammate in his development plan. She couldn't be more grateful. So, both of them think they're getting a huge bargain. Despite being mentally prepared, she is still shocked by the astronomical prices of the weapons. Luo Yuhan smiles and explains that these are weapons specifically for awakened ones. Seeing the timing is right, she immediately starts her performance. First, a light side to look worried about money, then a quick shake of the head to show a positive and determined attitude. Finally, she looks up and declares, I'm going to work hard and save up. Seeing her so fired up, Luo Yuhan gives a knowing smile and habitually pats her head. Good girl. Jiang Naixian endures it. Can this guy stop patting her head all the time? She really wants to bite him. But his next words instantal. As if moved by her, Luo Yuhan also turns serious. It's about helping people. All right then. I'll tell you the details after you agree, but I can at least promise that I won't put you in any danger. Here it is. Isn't this exactly the kind of positive values a female lead should have? With a serious look, she asks, does it involve hurting anyone? In that case, I agree. She tightly clutches her newly acquired gun, overwhelmed with emotion. This is her exclusive weapon now. If this is the reward, please feel free to use me however you want. Shortly after, Jiang Naixian receives an extremely one-sided contract. No matter how you look at it, this is a total setup, but she's perfectly happy with it. As long as she gets the gun. Seeing her sign it, Luo Yuhan looks like he's just hooked a big fish. He can't hide the smirk on his face. Tucking the contract away, he finally reveals his goal regarding the place. We're going, it's a fixed dungeon within the academy. To save the innocent girl. Being tricked by her brother, the original female lead goes straight to the puppy girl. But the girl doesn't know that her brother's body has long since been inhabited by someone else. Luo Yuhan used the weapon as an excuse to trick Jiang Naixian into a contract for the dungeon. Just as both are secretly gloating over their bargain, Luo Yuhan's sister shows up. She walks right up to Jiang Naixian, gives Luo Yuhan a cold glare, and tells her, let's go talk outside. While the investor wears an indifferent smile, she nervously follows the young heiress. Jiang Naixian thought she was in for Eula's wrath, but instead, the girl just looks at her with a face full of sorrow and whispers that she can't believe her brother could ever change. It turns out the original Luo Yuhan was a jerk who toyed with people's hearts and loved manipulating others. Only now does Jiang Naixian realize why. Everyone's attitude toward him wasn't just dislike, but actual hatred. His habit of buying people off and treating them like tools only had one exception, just like he's treating her now. He once went all out to get close to someone. Once that person became completely dependent and obedient, he cut off all their social connections. Because that child was too innocent, they eventually passed away in despair. Eula's voice trembles as she bows her head, full of guilt. I lost a friend like that. I'm sorry. I looked into your background. Even though He was kicked out of the family. Luo Yuhan can easily manipulate someone in your difficult situation. I'm the one who truly hopes he can change, because I don't want to see anyone else die because of him. The original story never mentioned Luo Yuhan's past in detail, so when he suddenly became an academy star instead of being expelled, many readers thought Luo Yula was being stubborn and mean for not accepting it. Who knew there was such a heavy past behind it? But she can't say that Luo Yuhan has been replaced. Besides, that guy has been following them. Given that history, her relationship with Luo Yuhan is like stepping on a landmine for Luo Yula. That's why she's so worried. But she also can't distance herself from the current Luo Yuan. After a long silence, Jiang Naixin finally speaks softly. I know it's hard for you to believe he'll change. I can't prove it right now, either. You said you looked into my situation, right? I've seen too many people who would risk their lives to protect something. Because of that, I know exactly what that look in their eyes is like, just like yours, right? Now, so I don't think you're lying. She knows the seemingly tough heiress is actually soft and kind inside, so she doesn't want Yula to keep charging ahead blindly and end up getting hurt. But if the Yuhan I've seen is just an act, that would be so heartbreaking. That's why I want to try believing in him, believing that Yuhan isn't someone who hurts others anymore. Then, how about Yula protects me this time? If Yuhan really hasn't changed, you can be the one to teach him a lesson for me. But if he really has changed for the better, let's both convince him to truly repent. I'll be right there with you. Yula says through gritted teeth. Are you an idiot? The Tsundere heiress from the original story, who used to be so arrogant, now has red-rimmed eyes. Tears start falling despite her efforts. How can you say something so stupid with such confidence? You're way too naive, trusting people so easily. Jiang Naixin smiles, even more gently. With someone as strong and smart as Yula worrying about me, I'm actually really happy. Yula wipes her tears. Fine, leave it to me. I'll protect those classmates, because I won't make the same mistake again. Jiang Naixin thinks to herself that maybe it's a good thing the investor took over Luo Yuhan's body, because just as Yula hoped, Luo Yuhan will never hurt anyone again. Anyway, this was the best solution she could think of. Yula pumps her fist, saying she'll protect H. Jiang Naixin expected positive feedback from the readers regarding how that was handled, but she didn't expect her origin points to double. Not only that, she unlocked a new feature that allowed her to view story fragments through the characters' appearances. When she clicked it, the scene shifted to Luo Yuhan's perspective. After standing frozen for a long time, he suddenly snapped out of it upon hearing those words. The girl's words didn't deny Luo Yula's plea, yet they seemed to completely separate the past Luo Yuhan from who he was now. She has no idea that Luo Yuhan has been replaced, yet she still says she believes in him. Luo Yuhan felt as if a heavy stone were pressing on his heart. When Luo Yula called Jiang Naixin a total idiot, for the first time, he agreed with her. Foolish, naive, and easy to use, that was his past opinion of Jiang Naixin. Was it because this is a game world? In the real world, someone like her would never exist. He watched the falling leaves dancing in the wind, the sunlight filtering through the gaps in the trees, and that dazzling moment where light and shadow met. He whispered, thank you. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for seeing who I am now. Because of Jiang Naixin, Luo Yuhan felt a completely new emotion for the first time. This world was entirely different from his own reality. It was simply too beautiful. A cat girl up in the tree flicked her tail slightly, her eyes full of interest. It turned out there was more than one eavesdropper. This half-cat, beast man who controls the wind, must be Choi Sujin. No wonder even the breeze was so attentive while she spoke to Yula. According to the original plot, she wasn't supposed to get interested in the investor until after midterms. I really don't know if her appearing this early is a good or bad thing. Just then Luo Yuhan walked up to her and whispered a complaint. I can't believe the school punishes us with janitor duty just for being late. There's still some time before class ends, so how about we rest for a bit? Jiang Naixin immediately decided to clear the air with him. About Yula. Hey Yuhan, I heard about the bad things you did in the past. But even if all of that is true, I still want to believe in the kind person you are now. So, I asked Yula to also see how much you've changed. This explained Yula's strange behavior earlier. Luo Yuhan's reaction was somewhat plain. He just nodded. Man, and here I thought my sister finally cared about her brother. No, Yula has always cared about you. Luo Yuhan waved it off. She only cares about bad news. Just as he was about to leave, he suddenly stopped and turned back. She looked at him with confusion. Luo Yuhan actually leaned down toward her until they were extremely close. Jiang Naixin's heart rate instantly spiked. Way too close. The strongest team from the original story has finally assembled, and the first coordinated battle is about to begin. But our puppy girl isn't very happy. Luo Yuhan always does these extra things to her. Like right now, the man suddenly leans in so close they can feel each other's breath. Unexpectedly, in the next second, the hand that was reaching for her cheek suddenly changed direction and landed right on top of her head. She got her head patted again, and again. Yuan. Ugh, what are you doing? The man let out a low chuckle, his tone full of affection. You're really cute. Jiang Naixin was totally losing it. Can he please cut out these cheesy flirting tricks? But in order to maintain her sunny puppy persona, she had to force a shy expression. Teacher, please grant her the ultimate patience so she doesn't throw a punch at this investor. After class, they went to the training grounds as agreed. Luo Yula and Park Siwoo were already waiting. The young heiress's sharp tongue hadn't mellowed out. Seems like some trash is stuck to that classmate. Luo Yuhan was stunned. Wait. Is she talking about me? Oh wow, the trash can actually talk. At the critical moment, Siwoo stepped in. If you're done arguing, let's head into the training grounds. Suddenly, he noticed something stuck to Yula's back. When she saw they were a few red hairs, Yula flipped out. That damn cat. But when he asked what cat she meant, Yula frantically tried to cover it up. There's no cat that Yula hates more than Choi Soo-jin. Sure enough, the cat girl was nearby. As soon as she landed, Yula's hair stood on end. What are you doing here? I was looking for someone to train with and saw a familiar face. Don't let my looks fool you. I've always taken my training seriously. Disbelief was written all over Yula's face. Jiang Naixin agreed with Yula, but she had to stay in character. She stepped forward and said with a smile, of course you can. Siwoo followed up immediately. Since the more companions, the better. What's wrong, sister? You also joined halfway through, so having one more person won't be a As the plot toward world destruction progresses, the scale of outbreak type portals will continue to expand. Preventing this is precisely the duty of hunters. Said, there's no need to be obsessed with fixed type portals. This was the first time Jiang Naixin didn't side with the investor. So we're doing outbreak training? I'm fine with that. Yula's tone is worried. Are you really okay? Of course. According to the original plot, the investor will clear the dungeon tonight anyway. Since her inclusion was an accident, she won't interfere with his plans. Besides, with her current strength, if she wants to truly become a member of the squad, she must give it her all. For this goal, she's even imitating the female lead. There's nothing she can't do. Even if it's hard, she has to make it work. Just then, a strange gaze falls on her. Jiang Naixin looks up to see Siwoo standing in the shadows, watching her with an unreadable expression. Naixin. Yula's voice suddenly rings out. It's starting. By the time she looks back, Siwoo has already turned away. She thought he had something to say. As the mock training finishes loading, the training ground instantly transforms. The monster wave officially begins. A massive swarm of monsters pours in from the sky and the ground. A flash of light streaks across, and a monster's mana core is instantly shattered. This is just a simulation, yet it's almost identical to a real monster nest. Luo Yuhan is quite surprised. He didn't expect Jiang Naixin to hit a flying monster's core in one shot. Although it's not a fixed type instance, which is a bit of a shame, he might have higher expectations for this training. Following Luo Yuhan's command, everyone takes their positions. Yula is the first to attack. She leaps high into the air, flames gathering in her right fist as she slams a heavy punch down. At the defensive monsters below, their armor shatters instantly. Just as she leaps back, Jiang Naixin's follow-up attack lands. Her bullets precisely pierce the monster cores. After a loud crash, the monsters suddenly collapse. Yula has already returned to the team. That's fierce enough. Luo Yuhan starts to get excited and gives the next command. Next, Mage, use wind magic to herd the monsters. Just like that, the cat girl handles the crowd control, while Jiang Naixin coordinates with her and Yula for the finishing blows. Soon, the surrounding monsters are cleared out. Luo Yuhan smirks. This training is going much smoother than he expected. With Choi Soo-jin's wide-range attacks, Luo Yula's powerful single-target damage, and Jiang Naixin using her reinforcement skills to balance both offense and support, the three of them have incredible chemistry despite never having practiced together. And then he looks toward Park Siwoo. That guy is a one-man army. After only a few days, his skill in controlling thousands of phantom soldiers has become even more proficient. What a monster. To be honest, this training has far exceeded his expectations. Forming a team with these people is entirely viable, as long as he nurtures them well. In the future, wow, that was amazing. Everyone's coordination under Yuhan's command was great. We might even break the record for the fastest clear. The first stage isn't even over yet. It's too early to relax. Usually, dealing with a monster wave requires multiple teams working together, since the sheer number of monsters isn't something a single squad can handle. Suddenly, a monster breaks free from the cat girls restraint and charges straight for Jiang Naixin at the rear. Jiang Naixin fired immediately, but the bullet hit the gold and just bounced off. Only then did he realize his mana was empty. Luo Yuhan's expression shifted instantly. The three-man squad begins their dungeon raid. The rookie girl is about to undergo a transformation. Catwoman's mistake caused the winning battle to take a sudden turn for the worse. Naxian is out of mana and can't stop the monster. Luo Yuhan jumps in front and uses his mana to cast a shield. But having just used his power-up skill, his remaining mana won't last long. The monster is pinning them down, just as the shield is about to shatter. A figure engulfed in intense mana streaks in and slays the beast. It's Pusheryu. He arrived just in time. As the monster fades, the system notification suddenly rings out. City Dungeon Phase 2 has begun. Luo Yuhan breathes a sigh of relief. Impressive. That's our main lead's insane reaction speed. Yula immediately rushes over to help the rookie girl up, but Luo Yuhan has already adjusted the plan. Phase 2. Remove the unable to fight Nasian, switching to a 3-man DPS formation. Shiryu takes the lead as aggro. Xiaojing and Yula support from the back. Get ready, everyone. Phase 2 starts now. Nasian couldn't accept it. I can still fight. Your mana is gone. You're useless right now. Just sit this one out. In terms of strategy, Luo Yuhan was purely rational and didn't notice Nasian's distress. He had potions, but he thought using them in a simulation was a waste. Phase 2 kicks off immediately. Luo Yuhan enters Commander mode. Yula, CC the strikers. Shiryu, clear the mobs in one go. Watch out. They're grouping. On the left, however, they still fell into a desperate struggle. Without Nasian's support, Xiaojing's area was the first to collapse. Despite their efforts, the outcome was set. They had lost. Man, that blows. Just a little longer, and we would have cleared it. Yula snapped. It's all because your line broke. That's why the system marked them as dead. Luo Yuhan cut in. I died too, okay? The rookie girl's eyes teared up. I'm sorry. It's all my fault. The heir is panicked. No. How is it their fault? It's thanks to you that we lasted this long. Shiryu chimed in to comfort her. Yeah. Hard to believe you're a rookie. Only Luo Yuhan stayed quiet. Catwoman whispered. That kid has no idea what kind of talent they have, do they? Being that naive makes it easy to be used, don't you think? Luo Yuhan smirked and glanced at Jiang Nasian nearby. Who knows? He said, but he was already calculating. Of course I'll use them. Theoretically, based on their stats, their mana should have run out in the first half of Phase 1. Always Hit is a passive skill that boosts accuracy, but even passives consume mana based on the correction needed. Plus, they were using enchanted bullets. Normally, they'd only get a few shots, yet they lasted so long enough, that even he forgot to track their mana. This only meant one thing. Jiang Nasian's natural aim was insane, to the point where Always Hit used almost zero mana. That is pure talent. Why didn't someone like this show up in the main storyline? Either way, he'd found a diamond in the rough. Tonight's going to be interesting. Ma'am, Luo Yuhan suddenly addressed Catwoman. Are you interested in a real portal experience? While he was watching Nasian was also watching him. Looks like he's planning to drag Catwoman into a portal tonight. But then again, his stats are definitely bugged. They're terrible. Bullets without mana couldn't even scratch a monster's core. Don't beat yourself up over the result. Pusheryu's voice cut in. Nasian blinked. He added, the whole point of training is preparing for the unknowns of real combat. Besides, if you'd used mana potions, you definitely would have lasted longer. His blue eyes were calm, but strangely reassuring. You did great. Yula immediately hopped over to comfort them. Yeah, your mana pool will grow once you level up. We're good. He was only acting depressed for his persona, but they were genuinely trying to help. So kind. Total opposites of a certain opportunist, to be honest. He wasn't entirely unaffected. Even now, his hands were still shaking from overusing mana. But it's fine. As long as he clears the portal tonight. The girl suddenly stood up. Right. Gotta grind those levels. Jiang Nasian got his smile back. Let's do this. Late that night, she popped out from the bushes. Curfews really are just a joke. No wonder the main cast is always running around at night in the original story. After they split up this afternoon, Luo Yuhan told him Catwoman would join the raid. Is that okay? Luo Yuhan nodded. We just signed a contract. She won't be a burden. The rookie girl paused, feeling a bit down. Then. I'm the burden. Don't worry. For this raid, you're the key player. Seeing her lack with me? Jiang Nasian's panicked, tearful face, every line of it, made him want to go blow Luo Yuhan's brains out. Comments began favoring Chui Xiaojing, but whatever, he was aiming for a supporting role. Anyway, but then, another comment shocked him. How is anyone shipping him with Luo Yula? As major characters appeared, the reader's focus shifted away from him. That was a good thing. But it also meant fewer origin points to earn. To collect more points from future heroines, he had to show the readers more of his highlights. Nasian decided his future persona, a hidden gem discovered by the opportunist. Flashback over. The real dungeon raid begins. Surprisingly, Luo Yuhan positioned him to hunt outside. Monsters and stationary portals are confined to the dungeon. They can't see humans outside, but humans can enter and exit freely. The plan, he and Xiaojing lure monsters inside, while Nasian snipes from the outside. Give me your hand. Luo Yuhan placed a handful of mana potions in his palm. His eyes were firm. I told you, you're the MVP of today's raid, so don't worry about mana. Just go all out. The rookie girl's strength finally leveled up, but Luo Yuhan chose this moment to offend Catwoman, nearly getting himself killed. To power level Nasian, Luo Yuhan dragged Catwoman into the dungeon to lure mobs, leaving their sniper to camp at the entrance. Right when they entered the dungeon, Catwoman used her magic to yank him into the air. It was incredibly rough. She did it on purpose, of course. Instantly, monsters swarmed them because he'd set out bait. Luo Yuhan blew up a core, and the monsters became even more frenzied. The girl kept her god tier, shooting, popping heads one by one. But as monsters kept coming, she realized the opportunist was pulling strings. That scumbag. He's being so reckless just to save some effort. Soon, even the entrance was jammed with monsters. They couldn't break out. But their roars hammered Nasian's eardrums, triggering memories he'd rather forget. Back then, when she was little, Doppler monsters invaded the slums. Local forces had a policy. Better to kill 1,000 innocents than let one monster escape. Even innocent civilians died at the hands of their own people. One by one, the targets fell. Nasian gritted her teeth to clear her mind. Later, the nearby monsters were finally cleared out. Yuhan, Xiaojing, Nasian's voice called out. When the two looked over, Luo Yuhan's eyes went wide. Nasian's growth far exceeded his expectations. Level 15 sniper. Agility and mana both reached grade C. Luo Yuhan looked stunned. The girl waved at him. Yuhan. She felt a secret sense of pride. Happy now? This is the result of my investment. Seeing your little fledgling suddenly gain pro hunter level stats must feel great. Huh? She feigned concern and asked, what's wrong? Are you okay? Should we call it a day? Luo Yuhan snapped out of it. Looking excited. I'm fine. Gear up. We're exploring the inner dungeon. Monster cores were scattered all over the ground. They gathered the bodies. Nasian, you got the inventory. Skill, right? Catwoman asked suddenly. Yeah, how? Did you know? Actually, I can see stat windows. She's lying. Luo Yuhan exposed her. All awakened unlock inventory at level 2. Amazing. So how much can it hold? It's not about physical size. At level 1, it holds 10 types of items, 100 each. By the way, mine is level 10. It holds 100 types, 1,000 each. Wow, so cool. She praised, but internally scoffed. Isn't that just a legendary trash stat that only levels inventory to 10? Luo Yuhan suggested, we can fit entire monster corpses in there. I'll sell them at the exchange, and we'll split the profit. So that was his plan. The group soon reached the depths of the dungeon. With Catwoman's magic, they avoided many traps. Soon, a portal appeared. It was different from what Nasian saw in the original story. In the original, you just walked here, grabbed the item, and left. Luo Yuhan must have triggered a hidden quest in the game. Suddenly, a deep voice echoed from the tower. Continue the trial. The descendant of the brave beast bloodline. Within the tower, Nasian realized instantly that Luo Yuhan was using Xiaojing. And this was Catwoman's absolute red line. Sure enough, Xiaojing demanded to leave. Nasian was about to play peacemaker when Luo Yuhan recklessly said, this is all according to plan. That set Catwoman off. According to plan? Junior, are you that stupid? I thought you understood my situation. I know your bloodline and your past. That's why I brought you to this dungeon. Luo Yuhan was adding fuel to the fire. Nasian just wanted to shut him up. Xiaojing was fuming. So, you want to die here? Wait. Instead of fighting each other, wouldn't it be better to just leave? We can't. The event has already started. This gaming freak. Does he think he's so? Luo Yuhan led the way for the rest of the trip. After leveling up, he unlocked shared vision. He could see through Jiang Naxian's eyes. With his farsight skill, he saw distant trap warnings and even beast tribe scripts clearly. While praising him, Jiang Naxian secretly grumbled. Does this guy do anything besides eat, sleep, and play games? Then he noticed Catwoman looking annoyed behind them. What should I call you? Whatever. I don't care about small talk. How about ma'am? Catwoman smiled and agreed. Yuhan, what you did was pretty messed up, right? By my standards, anyway. The rookie girl lowered her voice. I'll help you teach him a lesson later. Yula will help too, so don't worry too much. This successfully pleased Xiujing, who burst out laughing. Oh, you're worried about me? How cute. Thanks. When you and Yula gang up on him, count me in. The rookie girl agreed instantly. Better him than her. Chatting along, the three reached the reward room at the deepest part of the dungeon. Turns out, the rewards here can only be taken by those with beast blood, and that reward was a key item for the novel's main plot. Seeing Xiujing successfully get the item, the opportunist Chinibu flared up again, but before he could even let out a weird laugh, Catwoman threw the key right at his face. Naxian quickly picked it up. Yuhan here. Meanwhile, the dungeon exit appeared. He was surprised. So the exit is right behind the reward room. Dungeons are usually like that. Great job today. Before he could finish, Catwoman grabbed him by the collar. Junior, you didn't forget that you deliberately provoked me, did you? The rookie girl's tears made the man instantly panic. He rushed forward but didn't know how to comfort her. Luo Yuhan, who saw this as just a game, had no idea how many years the girl had struggled to survive in this dog-eat-dog world. This goes back to the last dungeon. Luo Yuhan's constant exploitation had completely enraged Catwoman. Facing a death threat, he didn't blink. I have one more deal to make, ma'am. What the heck are you up to now? Catwoman's tone was wary, but his next words made her freeze in place, and her binding magic dissipated. She finally bit the bullet and agreed. However, Luo Yuhan used an item to block the sound, so Naxian didn't hear the terms of the deal. The next day, as the rookie girl stepped into the academy, she received an unprecedented warm welcome. News of them clearing the dungeon yesterday had spread through the school like crazy. Luo Yuhan, acting like a king, saw him and shouted. The academy said they'd overlook us sneaking out since we cleared it. Oh, and one more thing. Before he could finish, the classroom door slammed open. Luo Yuhan, get out here right now, you jerk. He was still oblivious to his fate. I'm right here. So sis, are you impressed by your brother's hidden power? He was answered by Yula's iron fist. The rookie girl cheered internally. Go Yula. You actually dared to drag everyone to a portal in the middle of the night. Luo Yuhan tried to argue. It wasn't by force. But Yula didn't give him a chance to speak, though Naxian found it satisfying. Kind of persona and told Yula to stop. Yula immediately dropped her brother and grabbed Naxian's hands, her voice full of worry. Are you okay? That shameless jerk didn't try anything on you, did he? I should have made you stay in my dorm. Yula checked him over from head to toe. He quickly explained, I'm fine. Yuhan was good to me. Besides, staying in someone else's dorm is against school rules. I'm sorry for not telling you sooner. His look of apology, mixed with a bit of shyness, instantly hit Yula right in the heart. It's not your fault. Luo Yuhan is the scumbag at fault. Yula hugged him tight, her voice no longer sharp, but full of deep concern. I'm just glad you're okay. Anyway, it's all Luo Yuhan's fault. What if he got hurt? Although she didn't let Luo Yuhan off, at least she didn't use her full power. Was their relationship improving? Just then, Yula's mana suddenly surged. And here I thought you'd actually changed. Turns out you're still just using people. Another round of beatdowns began. He thought he heard the sound of a bone popping. Guess improving the sibling bond was wishful thinking. In class, the teacher announced that the midterms would be a combat test, urging everyone to remember what they'd learned. The atmosphere was light. Last night's chaos felt like it never happened. Even the combat instructor hailed them as the academy's twin stars. At lunch, Catwoman naturally joined them. In this peaceful vibe, it was hard to imagine the brutal trials waiting for them in the future. The academy's F-class commander, this novel's core was about preventing the end of the world. The opportunist, Luo Yuhan, who transmigrated into a villain, used his massive game knoll. That might not be much to some, but to Jiang Naxian, it was a fortune that could make the orphans' dreams come true. She could buy the art tools they liked, or a piano. She could even send them to the schools they wanted. Jiang Lu, who'd been suffering could get better treatment. Most importantly, the headmistress wouldn't have to beg for sponsorships and take people's crap anymore. Have you thought about what you'll do with all that cash? In a good mood after the transfer, Luo Yuhan asked casually. I think you should buy some gear first. Jiang Nasian said softly. I'm going to donate it. Luo Yuhan's brows furrowed instantly. Donate it? I mean, that's nice, but shouldn't you be focusing on leveling up right now? She knew the opportunist wanted her to gear up, but she couldn't. Besides, he'd eventually ask where the money went, so better to be clear now. There's a place that took great care of me. So, I always decided that if I made big money, I'd give it to them first. Nasian told herself it was fine. She was playing the sunshine role, and this fit the persona. You've always seen me that way anyway, so please understand. Just think of me as a game character who's programmed this way. And accept it. She didn't care about anything else, but she wouldn't budge on this, even if he didn't get it. Luo Yuhan accepted it. Fine, whatever, it's your money. Do what you want. Nasian felt relieved, but then Luo Yuhan panicked. Hey, why are you crying? He paced around frantically, not knowing how to comfort her. What's wrong? Are you okay? Jiang Nasian was actually scared. Scared he'd take the money back or ditch her as a teammate. After all, he was the protagonist of this world, not her. She wiped her tears and smiled. Yuhan, thank you. His cheeks instantly flushed a faint pink. Just as he was about to say something, Yula arrived to grab dinner. Seeing Nasian's red eyes, she immediately lost it. Luo Yuhan, you jerk. What did you do? To Nasian, the opportunist was speechless. I really didn't do anything. Lying to my face, are you? Nasian quickly stepped in. Really, I'm fine. Years ago, Nasian had broken into Black Balance's turf. The woman behind it was glamorous, but radiated danger. You've got guts, kid, saying you can solve my biggest problem. Her eyes were steady. Yes, I can identify Dopplers. The leader paused and asked slowly. Your terms? Give our teachers and kids citizen status. And move them to the safe zone. I've got plenty of budget left. I'll grant you one more wish. Without hesitation, the girl replied, then please, make sure no one at my orphanage ever has anything to do with criminal organizations. True. She could buy the art tools they liked, or a piano. She could even send them to the schools they wanted. Jiang Lu, who'd been suffering, could get better treatment. Most importantly, the headmistress wouldn't have to beg for sponsorships and take people's crap anymore. Have you thought about what you'll do with all that cash? In a good mood after the transfer, Luo Yuhan asked casually. I think you should buy some gear first. Jiang Nasian said softly. I'm going to donate it. Luo Yuhan's brows furrowed instantly. Donate it? I mean, that's nice, but shouldn't you be focusing on leveling up right now? She knew the opportunist wanted her to gear up, but she couldn't. Besides, he'd eventually ask where the money went, so better to be clear now. There's a place that took great care of me. So, I always decided that if I made big money, I'd give it to them first. Nasian told herself it was fine. She was playing the sunshine role, and this fit the persona. You've always seen me that way anyway, so please understand. Just think of me as a game character who's programmed this way. And accept it. She didn't care about anything else, but she wouldn't budge on this, even if he didn't get it. Luo Yuhan accepted it. Fine, whatever, it's your money. Do what you want. Nasian felt relieved, but then Luo Yuhan panicked. Hey, why are you crying? He paced around frantically, not knowing how to comfort her. What's wrong? Are you okay? Jiang Nasian was actually scared. Scared he'd take the money back or ditch her as a teammate. After all, he was the protagonist of this world, not her. She wiped her tears and smiled. Yuhan, thank you. His cheeks instantly flushed a faint pink. Just as he was about to say something, Yula arrived to grab dinner. Seeing Nasian's red eyes, she immediately lost it. Luo Yuhan, you jerk. What did you do? To Nasian, the opportunist was speechless. I really didn't do anything. Lying to my face, are you? Nasian quickly stepped in. Really, I'm fine. Years ago, Nasian had broken into Black Balance's turf. The woman behind it was glamorous, but radiated danger. You've got guts, kid, saying you can solve my biggest problem. Her eyes were steady. Yes, I can identify Dopplers. The leader paused and asked slowly. Your terms? Give our teachers and kids citizen status. And move them to the safe zone. I've got plenty of budget left. I'll grant you one more wish. Without hesitation, the girl replied, then please, make sure no one at my orphanage ever has anything to do with criminal organizations. A voice she never expected to hear calls out. Can we talk for a second? It was Park Si-woo. After they sat on a bench, Si-woo fell silent. Jung Na-hyun had to break the ice. What is on your mind? Well, Si-woo gripped his water bottle. Looking nervous. Sorry, I was trying to find the words. It is okay. It seems you were being very careful. The girl gave a bright smile, but Si-woo only looked worried. He chose his words carefully. Did something happen? Are you asking if I am having a rough time? Everything has been great lately. My friends trust me, my mana is up, and here is a secret. I have actually made a lot of money. Si-woo tightened his jaw, as if holding something back. He looked up sharply. That is not what I meant. But seeing her radiant smile, he swallowed his words. Look, if you do not want to talk, I will not push you. He paused, a hint of hidden sadness in his eyes. But I want to tell you about someone I knew. It is a story about a hero at the end of his rope. She hid her emotions behind a layer of smiles, like an impenetrable mask. Yet, he was the only one who could see right through it. Jung Na-hyun never thought that besides her family, the first person to truly care for her would be the novel's protagonist. The team leader, the hero Park Se-am, was a flawless leader. Because of that excellence, people entrusted every critical mission to him. Even when things got bumpy, he always pulled it off, until the world-shattering truth came out. The tower was actually powered by human desire. The noble mission the hero spent his life on was actually hurting his comrades and destroying the land they protected. Public opinion flipped instantly. Respect turned into sharp accusations. The former hero became a criminal. Park Se-am fell into endless self-loathing. His life was shackled by overwhelming guilt. This dark history was never mentioned in the original novel. Na-hyun finally understood it was worse than just sealing the tower. Park Si-woo spoke softly. Even though he carried all that, the old man always kept a gentle smile for his grandson. But the grandson knew better than anyone. Grandma always hid a sadness that never went away. He paused, as if suppressing an emotion. After a moment, he continued. I have seen too many people who force a smile when they want to cry. So I know exactly what kind of face they make. No matter how much you go through, there are things you just cannot control. So do not be too hard on yourself. Asking friends for help every now and then is perfectly fine. He turned to Na-hyun, only to catch the girl staring with soft eyes. He jerked his head away, his ears turning bright red. Before the blush hit his whole face, his words did comfort her. Yeah, so what if her points dropped by 10? She was being way too anxious. Besides, they already went back up, right? She did her best. And if some things just cannot be done, so be it. She just had to keep looking for a way and try harder. She looked at Park Si-woo and whispered, thank you. Seeing the girl perk up, Park Si-woo smiled too. Wait, did you talk to me because you were worried? Our Si-woo is so sweet. What a shining example of humanity. Blushing, the man looked away. Whatever, it is no big deal. Well, if you ever have troubles, you can tell me anytime. We are friends, after all. Hearing that, Si-woo was stunned for a second, then looked down and gave a soft nod. Back at the field, it was a total mess. Luo Yonghan was face down on the ground, looking wrecked. The cat girl was sitting casually on top of him. Hey there, senior. Shocked, she ran toward Yonghan, but was grabbed in a hug by Yura. Na-hyun, don't worry about this piece of trash. The cat girl added nonchalantly. Yeah, I just taught him a little lesson. Who knew he would come to settle the dungeon debt so soon? Yonghan reached out, trembling. Help. Yonghan, you are bleeding everywhere. Back at the dorm that night, Jung Na-hyun opened the comments with a totally different mindset. Compared to the panic of the first time, she was much calmer. She thought of Si-woo's red ears and how he tried to cheer her up. She couldn't help but laugh. Did his mood rub off on her? The next morning, the academy was buzzing. Luo Yonghan was holding a megaphone, shouting, new club alert. Join the Portal Treasure Hunters. If you sign up, you get free high-end items. Someone asked, really? For free? Of course, the opportunist raised his voice. We even have ice attribute gear. Join us right now. In the original novel, this was when he started the club. The Portal Treasure Hunters. It sounds like a club that hunts for loot in portals. On the S motive. He threw a punch. Shut up. Compared to Senior Sujin, Yura acts way more like a cat. Soon, news of the new club spread throughout the academy. His recruitment rules were purely biased. No ugly people. No one who talked trash about him. And definitely no Luo Yura fangirls. Puppy Girl watched with a straight face. Basically, anyone he disliked was out. Yura set up a handkerchief on a chair and motioned for her to sit. With a gust of wind, Cat Girl appeared. Yonghan froze. What are you doing here? I thought you were against clubs. Well, I changed my mind. I am a lock for this, right? She ignored him and stamped her own application, tossing the seal aside. So she is in. Fine, let us get this started. Moving on. Next candidate. Come in. The door opened, and the star of the show arrived. A girl radiating a cold, distant aura walked in. Nahayan recognized her instantly. Pale skin, striking silver hair, and ice blue eyes. The calm vibe was exactly like the novel. The Ice Empress, Lihana. The opportunist shouted in excitement. He stepped forward, kissing up to her. You are exactly the talent this club needs. Cat Girl waved. Warmly. Hana, come here. I will sign you in. Yura quickly pulled out the club manual. They really are close. I know the plot, but I should ask anyway. Yonghan, why did she get a free pass? He looked smug. Because this whole interview process was just to get Lihana. She is second only to Park Se-woo. She is so strong, she breaks the game balance. A total cheat character. For any newbie, having her means clearing normal levels with ease. Plus, she is essential for hidden elements and side quests. Better to get her early. He was so hyped he was talking in game terms. She played along, pretending not to understand. You are making no sense. So she passed because she is a serious club member? She is older than us, but her combat power is insane. She seems nice, but Hana wasn't just nice. Among the academy commanders, she was always upright and kind. But that kindness was also her fatal weakness. With Hana on board, they reached the minimum member count. He was probably about to start rejecting people. Suddenly, Yonghan looked like he saw a ghost. She was stunned too. Why was the original protagonist here? He sat down and introduced himself. My name is Park Se-woo. He was supposed to join the Kendo Club. The opportunist wasn't about to miss this chance. He grinned and declared him passed. Just like that, the club was official. It was packed with academy celebrities. It was unexpected, but now she had more powerhouses to carry her. She just needed to hide in the back and stay low-key. But among all these high-tier players, why was she the one stuck being the main DPS? The strongest combatants are here. Puppy Girl and the stoic lead are the core power. Jiang Nahayan, the supposed support, ended up saving the day. This started 3 hours ago. With the 2 top-tier fighters, Yonghan was itching to raid a dungeon. He brought out new contracts regarding confidentiality and resource allocation. Seeing that all rewards went through Yonghan, Yura snapped. You think we are idiots? Why should everything go to you? Puppy Girl pulled her back. Don't worry, Yura. He just wants to split everything fairly. Yura, calm down instantly. Fine, if Nahayan says so. Cat Girl and Hana signed the contracts. Today's goal was a fixed type. Dungeon, frozen. Ice attributes don't level up here, but it has a high drop rate for items and cores. Cat Girl hugged Hana. Awesome, Puppy Girl thought. He chose this place just to get on Hana's good side. Se-woo cautiously asked if there was a plan. Yonghan smiled confidently. I have already mapped out the strategy and formation. A portal actually appeared. Cat Girl was amazed. You found a portal in the middle of nowhere. After climbing the hill, Yonghan was out of breath. Nahayan helped him. You okay? He caught his breath. I am fine. Let's head in. The dungeon was all ice. It was so cold your breath turned to frost instantly. Visibility was low. Suddenly, a cracking sound came from ahead. Yonghan shouted, battle stations. Under his lead, the main cast faced their first official raid. You all remember your positions? Yeah. Got it. Don't worry about us. Yura and Se-woo on the front line. Sujin, windshield. Copy that. Mana gathered at her fingertips, blocking the monster's debris. Nahayan, cover them. Under their heavy fire, the golem's core was finally exposed. Time to finish it. Hana raised her ice spear, her mana intensifying. She lunged forward on a paw, but many large monsters that drop. Cores and items will appear. Move with caution. Wow, Yonghan is smart. He knows everything. Isn't this just basic knowledge? This guy is really annoying. Thanks to his insider info, they sped through and reached the deepest part. As I said, this monster's blizzard passive is a pain. It is high enough to freeze the whole dungeon. Suddenly, the snow giant woke up. The team scattered, but the blizzard was more intense than expected. It blocked their vision and made movement nearly impossible. Yonghan was actually blown back. Nahayan rushed to pull him down. Even Yura was stuck. Their combat effectiveness plummeted. Yonghan realized that reality was nothing like the game. He knew the wind and snow had a synergy effect, but he didn't expect it to hit this hard. With vision blocked, they couldn't attack. Then, Yonghan noticed Nahayan wasn't affected. Her 1,000-mile eye passive let her see through the storm. He yelled to Cat Girl, Sujin, lift Nahayan up high. Caught in the wind, Nahayan was confused. What is happening? New plan. Everyone on defense and support. Protect Nahayan. She is now our main DPS. Focus on the core. Puppy Girl screamed. Internally, you opportunistic scumbag. She poured mana into her bullets, waiting for the perfect moment. As soon as the core cracked, she fired a mana charge shot. The monster fell, and the blizzard vanished. Back on the ground, Nahayan asked, is everyone okay? Yura stepped up. We are fine. Catgirl laughed. Not a single scratch. Nahayan finally relaxed. That was terrifying. It is good. The opportunist trusts her, but he needs to chill. She looked at the culprit. Yonghan, what is that? It was the dungeon reward. Even without knowing it, she could tell it was rare. Yonghan didn't keep it. Instead, he called everyone over. Before we leave, I want to discuss something. Rare items are hard to buy even with cash. So, it makes more sense to use them to boost our team's strength. How about giving this to Senior Hana? Her attribute matches it perfectly. In the future, all drops will go to the best-suited member. Hana blushed. Her ice blue eyes filled with anticipation. Nahayan knew she needed ice items for her fire curse, so she immediately agreed. The others followed suit. Hana was a woman of few words, but she looked truly grateful. Thank you. Catgirl hugged her. See, I told you they were good kids. Hana gave a soft nod. Also, as promised, here are the sign-up items. For the club. I thought you would back out. Honestly, what do you take me for? Nahayan. This is yours. Her eyes lit up. The skills are useful and the design is sleek. This must be pricey. Better keep it safe. She could sell it if she needed cash. Once the dungeon payout clears, she will be set. Nahayan was thinking about how only the midterms were left. This heavy past was never mentioned in the original novel. Kong Nahyun finally realized. It was more than just sealing the tower. Park Si-woo spoke softly. But that old woman, bearing such a burden, always stayed gentle and smiling in front of her grandson. Yet, the grandson knew better than anyone. Grandma always hid a lingering sadness deep in her heart. She paused, as if suppressing an emotion, then continued after a moment. I've seen too many people who force a smile when they really want to cry. So, I know exactly what kind of expression those people make. Even no matter what you've been through, there are times when things spiral out of control. So don't be too hard on yourself. Asking a friend for help once in a while isn't a bad thing. He turned to Kong Nahyun, only to meet her soft, staring eyes. He quickly turned away, a blush spreading from his ears to his face. Nahyun did find comfort in his words. True, it only dropped 10 points. Maybe she was overthinking it. Besides, hasn't it already recovered? She did her best. Even if you try your hardest. Some things are just impossible. Just keep finding ways and work more carefully. She looked at Park Si-woo and whispered, thank you. Seeing her spirits lift, Park Si-woo smiled as well. Wait, did you talk to me because you were worried about me? Our Si-woo is so kind. Such a shining soul and great character. He blushed, looking away. It's no big deal. If you ever have troubles, you can tell me anytime. We're friends, after all. Hearing this, Si-woo froze, then nodded softly. Returning to the field, they saw a total mess. No Yuhan was on the ground, in a terrible state, while Catwoman was casually sitting on him. Hello? Senior. The girl was shocked. She ran to Yuhan, but was pulled back and hugged by Ura. Don't mind this trash. Catwoman added nonchalantly. I just gave him a little lesson. Didn't expect him to pay his debt so soon. No Yuhan reached out, trembling for help. Yuhan, you're bleeding. So much. Back at the dorm, Nahyun opened the comments again. With a completely different mindset, compared to the panic from before. She was much calmer now, thinking of Siwoo's blushing face as he comforted her. She couldn't help but laugh. Was she influenced by him? Next morning, the academy was noisy. No Yuhan was holding a megaphone, shouting, recruiting for the Portal Treasure Hunt Club. Join us and get expensive items for free. Someone asked if they were really free. Of course, the opportunist shouted, even ice element items. Join now. Join us immediately. In the novel, he started the club. At this exact time, the Portal Treasure Hunt Club was exactly what it sounded like. On the surface, at least. In reality, the opportunist created it to gather the heroines to enter the hidden fragment dungeon. She had to play along. Seems like a great club. Can I join? Of course. Before he could finish, Ura charged in. Like a speeding train, knocking him back. You bastard. What are you trying to do to Nahyun now? He immediately explained that he was just recruiting, and besides, I've already decided to join. Ura looked at him with disgust. In the original novel, Ura was a member of the book club. It suited the noble lady persona back then. Now, it seemed she only joined clubs to make friends. Sure enough, Ura pushed him aside. Then I'm joining too. I have to. Keep an eye on No Yuhan. Just for supervision? Feels like there's some personal bias. Shut up. She punched him. Compared to Senior Sujin, Ura felt more like a cat. Soon, the news of the club spread. His requirements were purely personal and had no morals. No ugly people. No one who insulted me. No Ura fangirls. The girl watched, speechless. Basically, anyone he didn't like was out. Ura laid out a handkerchief and gestured for her to sit. Suddenly, Catwoman appeared. Yuhan was stunned. Why are you here? Didn't you say you wouldn't join any clubs? Well, I changed my mind. I'll pass, right? She ignored him and stamped her own application, tossing the stamp aside. The stamp mark remained. All right, let's hurry up and interview the next one. The door opened. The star of the day finally appeared. A girl with a cold, distant aura walked in. Nahyun recognized her instantly. Pale skin, dazzling silver hair, and ice blue eyes. With her calm demeanor, she was exactly as described. Ice Empress Lihana, the opportunist, shouted excitedly. He walked up to her, flattering her. You are exactly the talent we need. Catwoman also greeted her warmly. Hana, come here, let me stamp it. Ura grabbed the manual. They were close. Even knowing the plot, she asked anyway. Why? That's true, but Lihana isn't someone you can just describe as kind. Among the Academy's FG commanders, she was always upright and gentle. But that very gentleness became her fatal weakness. Now that Lihana joined, they had the minimum members. That guy's probably gonna start bragging again. Unexpectedly, No Yuhan looked like he'd seen a ghost. Nahyun was equally stunned. Why was the original protagonist here? Nahyun introduced quickly calmed her down. Don't worry, Ura. He just wants Siwoo. In the novel, he was supposed to join the Kendo Club. The opportunist wouldn't miss this chance. He smirked and declared him passed. Just like that, the club was formed with the Academy's top celebrities. Though caught off guard, Nahyun realized she had more powerful allies now. She could just hide in the back during dungeon raids and keep a low profile. But surrounded by these cheat characters, why did the main DPS role fall on her? The strongest fighters have arrived. The girl and the Ice Empress became the main force. Nahyun, who was meant to be support, saved the entire battle alone. It all started 3 hours ago. With the top 2 fighters on his team, No Yuhan was ready for the dungeon. He was eager to start. He presented new contracts regarding secrecy and resource distribution. Seeing that Yuhan would have the final say, URA snapped. Do you think we're idiots? Why should you control everything? Split everything equally. URA instantly chilled out. If Nahyun says so. Catwoman and Hana also signed the contract. Today, they were raiding the frozen dungeon. Even though ice types can't level up here, the drop rate for rare items and cores is incredibly high. Catwoman hugged Hana. Yay, Hana. Nahyun figured he chose this place just to boost Hana's favorability. Siwoo cautiously asked if there was a plan. Yuhan smiled confidently. I've already mapped out the entire strategy and formation. When the portal actually appeared, Catwoman was amazed. How did you find a portal in the middle of nowhere? No, Yuhan, having just climbed the mountain, was breathless. Nahyun supported him. Are you okay? He caught his breath. I'm fine. Let's go in. The entire dungeon was made of ice. It was so cold your breath turned into mist. Even visibility was limited. Suddenly, a cracking sound echoed. Yuhan shouted, "Get ready for battle." Under his command, the team began their first real fight. Everyone remembers their spots? Got it. Yes. Don't forget yours. URA and Siwoo took the front. Sujin activated her shield. Mana gathered at her fingertips, blocking the monster's debris. Nahyun provided cover. Under their heavy attacks, the golem's core was finally exposed. Time to finish this. Hana raised her ice spear as mana surged around her. She dashed across the ice she created at high speed. With one thrust, she shattered the core. This is why she's called a cheat character. The first battle was an easy win. Yuhan collected the loot and warned them. This dungeon has no small mobs, but large monsters will appear frequently. So move with caution. I see. Yuhan, you're so smart. You know everything. Isn't this just basic knowledge? He's so annoying. Using his meta-knowledge, they cleared the path quickly and reached the depths. As I said, this monster's blizzard passive will be a huge pain. The temperature plummeted. Before he could finish, the snow beast woke up. The team scattered, but the blizzard was fiercer than expected. It blinded them and hindered their every move. Yuhan was almost blown away. Nahyun rushed to pull him down. Even URA was stuck in place. There. Combat power was crippled. Yuhan realized that reality was nothing like the game. He knew about the blizzard effect, but didn't expect it to be this bad. The main attackers couldn't push forward. Then, Yuhan noticed Nahyun was unaffected. Her passive skill meant her vision wasn't hindered by the blizzard. He shouted to Sujin, "Lift Nahyun to high ground." Nahyun was confused as she was lifted. What are you doing? Yuhan changed tactics. Everyone, switch to defense. Protect Nahyun. She's our main DPS now. Focus on shattering the core. Nahyun screamed internally. Yuhan, you bastard. She infused her bullets with mana and waited. The moment a crack appeared on the core, she fired the decisive shot. As the monster fell, the blizzard vanished. Nahyun landed. Is everyone okay? URA stepped forward. We're fine. Catwoman laughed. Not a single scratch. Nahyun finally breathed a sigh of relief. She looked at the culprit, Yuhan. What's over there? It was the dungeon reward. She could tell it was a rare item instantly. Yuhan didn't keep it. In her blue eyes, there was a faint trace of hope. Nahyun knew she needed ice-type items to soothe her fire curse, so she immediately agreed. The others followed suit. Hana was a woman of few words, but her face was full of gratitude. Thank you, everyone. Catwoman hugged her happily. See, I told you they were good kids. Hana nodded softly. Also, here's the sign-up bonus I promised when you joined the club. Here. I thought you'd bail on us. What a surprise. What do you take me for? Here, Nahyun. This one's yours. Her eyes lit up. The skills were practical, and it looked cool. It had to be worth a lot. She could always sell it if she went broke. Once the dungeon payout arrived, she'd be set. She thought happily that before midterms, the only thing left was the study arc. She expected peace, but reality hit her hard the next day. She was running for her life, with a crazed mob behind her. "Yuhan, you absolute bastard," she cursed. How did she get into this mess again? The reason was in Yuhan's monologue at the end of the Frozen arc. After sending the kids away, he said, "I still have one unfinished task." He pulled out a fox orb. "Time to put this to use. Who should I ask for help?" He soon locked onto his target. A perfect candidate. Someone who actually listens, is always with me, unaffected by the orb, and easily pleased. "Naehyun, hold on to this." She took it without a second thought. "Sure, but what is it?" Yuhan gave a mysterious smile. "Just keep it on you. Tell me if anything weird happens." After using her yet again, things finally backfired on an epic scale. The teammates who should have been on his side all chose Naehyun instead. It all started with that orb. From the moment she touched it, everyone began chasing her like they were possessed. Some even wrote twisted love letters using their own blood. The opportunist looked relaxed. "Just hold out for a week." Hearing this, Naehyun felt her world crumbling. That scumbag otaku never does anything good. "Naehyun, let's grab lunch." As soon as URA appeared, Yuhan ran off. She tried to explain the orb to URA, but the crowd blocked them, just as the mob was about to swallow her. A large hand grabbed her. It was Park Si-woo. Using his height, he lifted her like a kitten. "Naehyun, what's going on?" Soon, the rest of the team arrived. Realizing the orb was the problem, Si-woo drew his sword to destroy it. Naehyun hesitated, but Yuhan gave it to me. Si-woo remained firm. "You are more important than that." His words were like a ray of sunlight. The gloom vanished. He really was the most reliable one. That sword of his was a legendary treasure. It'll surely. A drama about studying? "I thought things would be peaceful lately, but I got slapped with reality the next day." He ran for his life, with a crowd of crazed people chasing him. The girl cursed the opportunist in her head. "You jerk." As for why she got into trouble again, the reason can be found in that opportunist narration at the end of the Frozen arc. After finishing the conversation and sending the kids away, I still had one unfinished mission. He dug through his pocket, pulled out the fox orb, and gripped it. "I need to make use of this. Who should I ask for help?" He quickly locked onto a target. "Isn't there a perfect candidate right here? Listen to my request. Someone who's always with me, won't be fooled by the orb, and is easily satisfied. You take this." The girl took it without any suspicion. "Okay, but what is this?" Luo Yuhan gave a mysterious smile. "Just keep it on you for now. If anything weird happens, let me know." After Luo Yuhan used the puppy-like girl once again, he finally faced an epic fail. The original assistants, who should have been his teammates, all sided with It all started with that orb Luo Yuhan gave her. From the moment she got it, everyone started chasing her like they were possessed. They even used blood to write twisted love letters to the orb. The opportunist looked relaxed. "You just need to hold out for a week." Hearing this, Jiang Naishin felt her world collapsing. This scumbag shut-in hasn't done a decent thing in a long time. "Naishin, let's have lunch together." As soon as Eula appeared, the opportunist ran off. She wanted to explain the orb issue to Eula, but she was surrounded completely. Just as she was about to be swallowed by the surging crowd, a large hand grabbed her. It was actually Pu Shiyu. Using his height, he stood on the stairs and lifted her into the air like a little chick. What is happening? Shortly after, everyone except Luo Yuhan's team arrived one by one. Learning the orb was the culprit, Pu Shiyu immediately drew the sword from his back to destroy it. Jiang Naishin hesitated, but Yuan gave it to me. Pu Shiyu was firm. "You are more important than that thing." Those words were like a ray of light. The rainy day in the puppy girl's heart cleared up instantly. Dummy is the most reliable. That sword is the hero Pu Shiyan's treasure. It'll be fine. And since he's the one breaking it, Luo Yuhan can't complain. But I never expected that after the sword fell, the orb wasn't damaged at all. Not even a scratch. Eula put on gloves. "Let me try." A week passed in a flash. They tried everything, but still couldn't deal with the orb. If it weren't for maintaining her sunny puppy persona, she would have used it to crack the opportunist's head open already. What worried her more was that the crowd's madness seemed to be getting worse. "Today is exactly 1 week," Luo Yuhan suddenly said. "Naishin, Take the orb to the lakeside under the full moon. She replied immediately. The lake by the main building? Exactly. I'll try to hold these people back. Jiang Naixin was full of doubt. Can someone with his trash stats really do it? Seeing the crowd getting closer, she had no time to think and just turned and ran. Luo Yuhan stood before the crowd, looking confident. Stop. If you want to pass, you'll have to step over me. Before he could finish, he was completely swallowed by the swarming crowd. He didn't even let out a scream. Jiang Naixin was frustrated. She knew he was unreliable. She ran as hard as she could, but a chill slowly rose in her heart. The look in these people's eyes was already creepy enough to make her skin crawl. Luckily, reinforcements arrived just in time to separate her from the crowd. Yula looked anxious. What on earth is going on? How did things get worse? Pu Shiyu also took out his sword to block them and shouted, Naixin, are you okay? Jiang Naixin took the chance to escape. Thank you guys for the help. Yuhan told me to go to the lakeside near the main building. I'll go check it out. Shiyu immediately agreed. Okay, we'll find you once we deal with these people. Yula also reminded her, please be safe. However, even with the original lead's help, she was still trapped by more and more people. It looked like she couldn't escape. Just then, a gust of wind picked her up. Hello there. It was the cat girl Cui Shujin. Below Hannah was standing calmly on an ice pillar, asking with concern, are you alright? Jiang Naixin's nose tingled. She was touched. She didn't expect the seniors to come rescue her too. Except for that opportunist. Everyone else is literally in. Angel, Cui Shujin flew her to a higher place and asked, dropping you off at TH. A drama about studying? I thought things would be peaceful lately, but I got slapped with reality the next day. He ran for his life, with a crowd of crazed people chasing him. The girl cursed the opportunist in her head. You jerk. As for why she got into trouble again, the reason can be found in that opportunist narration at the end of the Frozen arc. After finishing the conversation and sending the kids away, I still had one unfinished mission. He dug through his pocket, pulled out the fox orb, and gripped it. I need to make use of this. Who should I ask for help? He quickly locked onto a target. Isn't there a perfect candidate right here? Listen to my request. Someone who's always with me, won't be fooled by the orb, and is easily satisfied. You take this. The girl took it without any suspicion. Okay, but what is this? Luo Yuhan gave a mysterious smile. Just keep it on you for now. If anything weird happens, let me know. After Luo Yuhan used the puppy-like girl once again, he finally faced an epic fail. The original assistants, who should have been his teammates, all sided with Jiang Naixin. It all started with that orb Luo Yuhan gave her. From the moment she got it, everyone started chasing her like they were possessed. They even used blood to write twisted love letters to the orb. The opportunist looked relaxed. You just need to hold out for a week. Hearing this, Jiang Naixin felt her world collapsing. This scumbag shut-in hasn't done a decent thing in a long time. Naixin, let's have lunch together. As soon as Yula appeared, the opportunist ran off. She wanted to explain the orb issue to Yula, but she was surrounded completely. Just as she was about to be swallowed by the surging crowd, a large hand grabbed her. It was actually Pu Shiyu. Using his height, he stood on the stairs and lifted her into the air like a little chick. What is happening? Shortly after, everyone except Luo Yuhan's team arrived one by one. Learning the orb was the culprit, Pu Shiyu immediately drew the sword from his back to destroy it. Jiang Naixin hesitated, but Yuan gave it to me. Pu Shiyu was firm. You are more important than that thing. Those words were like a ray of light. The rainy day in the puppy girl's heart cleared up instantly. Dummy is the most reliable. That sword is the hero Pu Shiyan's treasure. It'll be fine. And since he's the one breaking it, Luo Yuhan can't complain. But I never expected that after the sword fell, the orb wasn't damaged at all. Not even a scratch. Yula put on gloves. Let me try. A week passed in a flash. They tried everything, but still couldn't deal with the orb. If it weren't for maintaining her sunny puppy persona, she would have used it to crack the opportunist's head open already. What worried her more was that the crowd's madness seemed to be getting worse. Today is exactly 1 week, Luo Yuhan suddenly said. Naixin, take the orb to the lakeside under the full moon. She replied immediately. The lake by the main building? Exactly. I'll try to hold these people back. Jiang Naixin was full of doubt. Can someone with his trash stats really do it? Seeing the crowd getting closer, she had no time to think and just turned and ran. Luo Yuhan stood before the crowd, looking confident. Stop. If you want to pass, you'll have to step over me. Before he could finish, he was completely swallowed by the swarming crowd. He didn't even let out a scream. Jiang Naixin was frustrated. She knew he was unreliable. She ran as hard as she could, but a chill slowly rose in her heart. The look in these people's eyes was already creepy enough to make her skin crawl. Luckily, reinforcements arrived just in time to separate her from the crowd. Eula looked anxious. What on earth is going on? How? Did things get worse? Pushiyu also took out his sword to block them and shouted, Naishin. Are you okay? Zhang Naishin took the chance to escape. Thank you guys for the help. Yuhan told me to go to the lakeside near the main building. I'll go check it out. Shiyu immediately agreed. Okay, we'll find you once we deal with these people. Eula also reminded her, please be safe. However, even with the original lead's help, she was still trapped by more and more people. It looked like she couldn't escape. Just then, a gust of wind picked her up. Hello there. It was the cat girl Cui Shujin. Below Hannah was, standing calmly on an ice pillar, asking with concern, are you alright? Zhang Naishin's nose tingled. She was touched. She didn't expect the seniors to come rescue her too. Except for that opportunist. Everyone else is literally in. Angel, Cui Shujin flew her to a higher place and asked, dropping you off at TH.